Let's remind you that Nigeria has now dropped 3 places in the latest ranking by the Transparency International on its Corruption Perception Index, which this indicates that corruption is perceived to have worsened in the country. And joining me to talk about the worsening situation and solutions is Executive Chairman, Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership, Debo Adeniran. Good to have you join us, Debo Adeniran. Now,
good afternoon, my sister.
Thank
you for having me.
Absolutely. On one hand, we have this ranking by Transparency International. On the other hand, the federal government has disagreed with this ranking, saying that it is baseless and you know, it is Transparency International doesn't, you know, have its own data. But let's get to your thoughts on this. Do you think that this represents the true nature of things in the country, especially when you look at the areas that were highlighted?
Well, thank you very much. First and foremost, we have to note the key word in the assessment. It is based on perception. And when you look at the public perception of corruption in Nigeria, is skewed towards the negativity. And you know also that the government has not been doing enough to explain its own side of the story to the Nigerian. For example, a number of public servants have been apprehended and taken to trial, but most of them they remain in court, and the adjudication seems to be never ending. That doesn't show that the state is actually putting enough effort into the prosecution of the corrupt public officials that have been indicted. And when you look at a number of complaints about some of the agencies, especially the police and the judiciary, even when the administration claims that it's doing something, what it's doing seems not to be to impress an average Nigerian. And it is that impression that they don't have that they take into the perception, and that is what Transparency International could have latched on to come up with its report. And when
so just allow me butt in here, Mr. Adeniran.
The COVID-19 lockdown. Yes.
So allow me, Botin, because you said something about government not doing enough to tell its side of the story. But let's look at the areas that were highlighted. For example, nepotism, issues around security, corruption and security framework. There was the school feeding program, COVID-19 palliatives. When you look at these areas, what do you think that the government side of the story will be?
When you look at some of what the critics come up with, despite the fact that they claim that they are doing all of this, the critics have said that it is not up to the level that is expected of the delivery of such services. And the government has not shown anything to show graphically that what they claim they deliver was enough for what is desired by those who are to enjoy the services. But again, when you look at the perceived hoarding of palliatives during the COVID-19 lockdown, a lot of people believe that government officials wanted to use it to politic. And government has, despite the fact that they have explained that, okay, maybe it is the COVID that has been delayed, maybe the palliative was just delivered a few days before it was discovered by the people and so on and so forth. But they didn't convince the public that they were actually saying the truth, because COVID would have come out by itself to defend governments that the palliative materials were not in those warehouses where they were found because of governmental negligence, or because government wanted to deliberately hoard those things away from the people. So if they are not working with the civil populace, and a number of citizens have actually lost confidence in information that are coming out from the official quarters, even when such information are grossly inadequate. We do not have any other thing to believe that than the perception of the Nigerian public, because they are supposed to be the right holders, those who will enjoy the benefit of good governance. However, we also know that political distractors are also doing their own thing.
Okay, I'm afraid we do have to leave it there. I'm afraid we do have to leave it there. Your point is that government has to do more to communicate to citizens. Executive Chairman, Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership, Debo Adeniran, thanks for talking to us.